Sandy here, and welcome back to my channel. It is Stretch the Sketch Sunday. Now, if you guys remember, last month I did this 4-page stretch. Now, I accidentally did this for June, but it was actually July's. So what I'm going to do now is figure out how to make my page protectors so that this will flip out like this and you actually can see a 4-page layout in the album. Let's see what I can do. Okay, you guys, this is sped up to 2 times the speed, and I didn't cut anything out. I wanted you to see what my thought process was through the entire thing, and who knows, maybe you have a better idea, and if you do, drop it in the comments down below because I would love to see it. Now, I pulled out 2 different types of page protectors. One is the We Are Memory Keepers brand, which is a little bit of a thicker page protector, and then one is the page protector that comes in the Paper Studio albums. And I chose that because the Paper Studio albums, their page protectors have a little bit of an extra piece of plastic on them. There's just a little bit extra to be able to adhere to it. I'm pretty sure Close to My Heart has those extra bits as well. And I just felt like I needed that to be able to complete my flip pocket page. I guess it's not really a pocket page, but to be able to work out my flip page. So as you can see, I'm just sitting here and I'm looking at this bad boy and the finger starts to tap, and that means I'm thinking. So I'm thinking, you know, how am I going to do this? I've got to figure out which layout goes where, and when you look at the album, I definitely want it to be what I talked about, where you have other layouts surrounding this, and this is going to be kind of like the surprise 4-page spread in the middle of it. So I go ahead and decide to use a mix of the page protectors. I use a We Are Memory Keepers, and I also use a Paper Studio one together, and I think that that gave me a really good result. So I'm just looking at these, and as you can see, I'm putting in the layouts into the page protector. That way I can figure out exactly how the layout is going to go, how the things are going to flip back and forth. Now, it is really the right hand side that it clicks for me. This is where I discover, oh, this is how I'm going to do it. So the other stuff is just me kind of flipping the pages around, kind of seeing it in my head, and then I'm like, oh, I got it. I had an epiphany, guys. I had an epiphany. So I decide to throw my layout in there. And then what I discover is I don't have enough room in this layout to do what I want to do with it. I need to trim down 2 of the layouts. And I do that, okay? I trim 1/4 inch off of one side of the layout on this side of the page, and then I trim 1/4 inch off of one of the layouts on the left-hand side of the page. And that does not bother me, okay? It's not like a tragedy, I promise. It's not. I'm okay with it. So I'm just measuring out and kind of looking to figure out where the paper is going to go and how much of it I actually have to chop off. And like I said, 1/4 inch is what it ends up being, and I'm not concerned about it at all. Not concerned about it at all. You don't even notice it in the album. If you just would have looked into this album when you were, you know, peeping at my Disney album, the Disneyland album, you would not even notice that there is 1/4 inch off the layouts. And when I make the layouts to go into the pocket on the opposite side, I will trim down that layout as well, and then you're really not going to notice anything. Like, so they're all going to match up together. So I just double check to make sure that that is the way it needs to flip, and sure enough it is. And you guys, I know that this probably looks like the most boring video ever because there is a whole lot of white that you're just seeing over and over again, but I had a lot of people message me, and I also had comments saying that you wanted to see this once I figured it out. so I wanted to make sure that I got it up there. So I'm just using some washi tape to kind of hold the plastic page protectors in place. I am working on top of my Tonic Studios glass mat. It is dirty, so don't judge too harsh on that. But I am going to use my fuse tool. So I just tested it on a piece of the plastic that I was going to cut off to make sure it was still hot, or it was hot enough. One time I tested it by touching it to my finger, and that was utterly stupid. So please don't test your fuse tool's heat by rubbing it on your finger, because no, okay, you will burn yourself. My tool was heated up for about 15 minutes. Sometimes I let it heat up for up to 20, but this time I just had plugged it in while I was doing some scrapbooking, and that made me happy. So I just double checked to make sure that the page protectors fused to each other, and sure enough they did. So now I'm going to take my scissors and trim off right past where they join. So I'm making sure that I'm not actually trimming anything that I fused together, and I'm giving it a little bit of breathing room. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to push the layout down into its little corner so that I can get as much area to run my fuse tool. I get it. For some reason, it is hard to say fuse tool. It is hard. Now, I do want to point out that when I was putting this together, I was lining things up so that I would still be able to have the holes from the page protectors visible, because if not, what's going to happen is your page is going to hit your rings once it's in your album, and you don't want that to happen. You want to be able to have your layouts move freely within the album. So, like I said, not a lot of pretty stuff to look at in this video, guys. Sorry about that. Maybe I should have created layouts to put in here before we did that, but I just didn't. Make sure that you do hop along to everyone participating in Stretch the Sketch this month. They will be using the sketch that I used in June because I was a little bit goofy and decided to do the wrong sketch. So here I'm just bringing in an album just to make sure that it works. So, and it does, you guys, spoiler alert, it does work. So I go ahead, I was gonna say a layout goes here, but I figured you didn't need that. So you open it, you flip it open, all four are there, you flip it closed, and there it is, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Huge thumbs up because it actually worked, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.